Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple hours, along with Gal.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Nick is here.
Happy Easter. Good morning.
Happy Easter. Spence.
We're here because we're here.
Well,
Yes.
supposed to be here. Yeah. And Katie's here.
Good morning.
Good morning. And yeah, happy Easter, everybody. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. I wonder if my Zoom updated because
Why?
because it's still not catching it. Remember we had the problem where somebody would talk and it would not catch him, and
Yeah, but it just switched right over to me.
well, yeah. Hey, Katie.
You're not talking according to the algorithm it's looking for. That's all. You need to
Yeah,
adjust
sure.
yourself to the algorithm.
Have to say Zoom every time you want to speak, so it'll automatically pick you up.
No, you need
Yes.
to say Zoom is good.
Yes.
We love Zoom.
You see?
All right. So, what's happening?
Happening.
Nothing. Come on, you don't want me. You don't want to start the stories from the internet right off the bat.
Well,
Somebody-
I'll say that I started my new job and it's been going really great. And
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. Joining the marketing team at a gaming company, and it's been fun. And I love the atmosphere. I go in there and they have a bunch of machines with games on it, and I really want to touch them. And sometimes they have signs that say don't touch because they're working on the machines or something. And I'm like, yeah, but why big shiny button if cannot touch?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
but-
having a conversation with my kid last night. Amnon, the conversation we had last night.
Yeah.
And he said something that I said, I need to run by Katie. Asked
run
him-
by me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
asked him if he was using ChatGPT for anything, and he said he used it once for one thing. He plays a lot of Football Manager, and he asked it for a strategy, right, on how to build like a lineup in Football Manager, right?
Uh-huh.
We wanted to test it out, and it did something that for him to come up with, right, and think about and formulate can take, I don't know, 15 minutes or something, right?
Mhm.
It just blurted out a set of instructions right out of the bat. And then I thought about how since it is exposed to almost, a huge amount of data from the internet until 2021, that you can use that as a sort of work. What's it called when a walkthrough? A sort of a walkthrough engine for a game, right? but without any spoilers. You tell it exactly the precise of hinting you want when you're stuck in a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ask it, okay, so I'm in this game, probably just mention it by name, right? And what the platform is, and I am in this section. What are my options, or something like that? Or don't give me the answer, just give me a hint of the answer, right? Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So that was I'm always looking on how I can utilize a tool like that for stuff that I do. And what he loves doing is gaming, right? And so that's I haven't thought of that.
Yeah, it's too bad that it Chat GPT didn't come out during the Game of Thrones finale, because the Game of Thrones finale was so awful that it could be, you could ask it like, how would you write the Game of Thrones finale without it knowing the last 2 seasons or whatever it is, and see what it spits out. Actually, George R.R. Martin should use Chat GPT to help him finish the book.
No, that'd be too much work for him. He just
Oh.
it's too much work to even use ChatGPT for him.
Just in purgatory, book 6 or 7 or whatever it is.
Oh, well.
Your son's in college, Gall. Yes. Hello.
Got it?
You did.
Yeah, he is.
That's
Yeah,
that.
He's done in a month. He'll be graduating in a month.
Oh, he's done.
Yeah.
Wow. What's his major?
Sports management.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
If there's anybody in sports management listening to us, my son is looking for a job.
I wonder how. I mean, because the real thing with Chat GPT is in the education sector. That's where, to me, there's a lot of people that are talking about banning this and banning that, and that to me is where and I use problem very loose when I say it, but that's where the real problem is to me. I'm wondering. I know there are some services that can try and determine whether something is used via Chat GPT, but that's all algorithm based. They can't actually define. They can't actually tell you for certain whether it was or wasn't. So it's interesting.
Let's put it this way. If you ask ChatGPT for an output and you use that exact output in a work report, in academia, and it doesn't matter what, you're going to get an F. It's
Sure.
not good enough. It's just not good enough, right? There is no risk. Nobody in academia at this point, I think, is worried. I have 3 professor friends. We had a discussion about that. This is no risk. This is an excellent tool to get students up to speed on something that they are, to get a better understanding, to get a better footing. It won't do their work. If they rely on it to do their work, it'll just fail. That is the state right now. Will it continue to be? I don't know. But what I have seen is that the good educators have found how to incorporate that into the curriculum. They actually give them assignments that starts with a prompt to ChatGPT. Like, find a way of asking ChatGPT a question and then take that question and build upon it. Or build your own question, give that question, give those, build a question and an answer, give that to ChatGPT and ask for alternatives.
What a
right?
great
Stuff
idea.
Like that.
What a great idea. And then you can cite your references and all that stuff to say where you got
exactly.
the knowledge. But if you can show you can intelligently interpret it and relate that information that you learned, that's important. Not
So the
only
only
fact that you
naysayers,
write a factual document.
right? And I think the most important thing, the only naysayers about this right now are some sort of media outlet or clickbait type content that is just trying to attract negative emotions instead of explaining what this does and how this works, right? That's what I've seen. Like, none of the naysayers have ever been providing reference for wrongdoing. They're just saying it could be used for wrongdoing.
Sure. No,
So
absolutely. I do. You used a very key word there. Some professors that are competent and actually on their game are the ones doing this. There are a lot of individuals in higher education that are not probably especially a lot of older professors that are probably not going to adapt or use something like that to that. Now, I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to scam your way through college, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's going to end up screwing
exactly.
you in the long run anyway. Um, it's just it's kind of a fascinating thing.
Plus, people that are going to use ChatGPT like in a college setting to plagiarize or something like that, they were going to do it anyways, whether they use ChatGPT or they use something else.
Oh yeah,
Like
Or
the
they
bad
just
people
pay
are
somebody in their
To
exactly
place.
write it, yeah.
the bad people are just going to do the bad things, and it's just happen regardless.
And
At least the guy who gets paid to write the work for others, at least he'll know how to use ChatGPT.
Yeah, right.
now that's the scam of the century right there. You are the guy that's doing the paperwork and you're using Chat GPT, cleaning it up a little bit and then selling
I-
it. That right there that's what we
I-
call a money move.
Maybe Fiverr's
That's
in
enterprising.
shambles.
Yeah, absolutely enterprising. 100%.
I know that there's people on Fiverr and stuff that they make a living writing Amazon descriptions for people's products. And apparently it was like a big money making hustle. And now ChatGPT does it for them, so they don't.
Yeah, I was going to
they
say
just-
that's a very easy. See, there's a situation where Chat
Yeah.
GPT can do the job 100% of the time because
Yep.
it's not a grammatical thing where you're needing ChatGPT's grammar is pretty good. But if you have it generate something that's long, like a couple of paragraphs, you'll see very quickly that it doesn't hold its structure very well. But a bullet point list of things into a paragraph description on Amazon, I mean, that's perfect.
Nick,
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I just ran for you. Diagnose a dishwasher that won't fill with water.
Okay, what's the response?
It's five checkpoints. The first one is to make sure the power's turned on.
Oh crap! I didn't check that. Let me go grab the breaker.
Check, and the control board is the last item.
wow.
What else?
Check the inlet valve.
Yep.
Check the float switch.
Yep.
Check the solenoid, and then finally check the control board.
Well, I'm working backwards then. My next thing is the fill valve, and I did check the float switch. I think it's fine.
Yeah, it clicks. Yeah.
It does click. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
I just So
The solenoid is a common thing that goes bad. Actual
where would
valve
the
itself.
solenoid be?
In the valve.
Underneath the actual valve that turns the water on and off. Yeah.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
oh the solenoid. The fill valve it's one part.
Yeah,
The fill valve
yeah.
is the solenoid.
Mhm.
Fill valve is one thing.
Yeah, the solenoid, and there are relays built in too.
Yeah.
The control board probably has micro relays on.
It
Yeah,
does. It's got
yeah.
like 4 or 5 actual
Yeah.
physical relays surface
Yeah.
mounted on it. It's interesting you did that because I was listening to a podcast. It's a comedy podcast, so you don't take much of it seriously. And the guy who was the host, who's kind of a joker, mentioned that he is using Chat GPT now instead of Google for a vast majority of the things that he's doing in terms of questions. And right there, now if I search that same thing, if you search that same thing on Google, you're going to get some garbage results.
Oh, and
You're
some
going
of
to
the
get a
stuff
couple
on
of sponsored ads.
Yes. yes,
YouTube stuff too that's not accurate.
Yeah.
People,
That's exactly what I started using ChatGPT for, because Google
Oh.
and everything else is saturated with pay for clicks, like ads or
Yeah.
companies that pay to be on the front page. And it's not necessarily the most pertinent information that I need. It's just, yeah, I'm so done with Google right now.
Go ahead, Nick.
No, I have done that. I've done that a couple of times in the past few days. It's just so ingrained into my head to just open a new tab and type in a question. I guess I need to change my web browser's default to when I open a new tab, open up a new Chat GPT window, and I'll use it. Because right now it just brings me to the home page of Bing.
Mm-hmm.
But the response that it just gave Spence is good, and that's what you would want. And I know for a fact Google does not always respond. I saw a funny meme yesterday. You'll like this, Gall and Katie. This guy just searched Steam download into Google. The first result was some spamware, the adware click thing that Google had sold to, and it was like a gazillion URL. The URL was just letters and numbers, and it was like, download free video games at Steam. And people were like, what the hell? Like, can't even download a program now. The first result is gonna give you malware. It's just it's
Mhm.
remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
Yep. And that's why I always tell people that if you know where you're going to, what you're looking for, type the name. Don't go to Google and type it in.
Yeah, but you see the problem with Steam? Steam Steam's site is Steam powered,
Yeah,
right? You need to know that.
Okay.
correct.
Yeah, but I remember my friend John calling me one Sunday and said, I just spent hours on Walmart, Walmart site adding stuff to my cart. And when I went to check out, um, it was asking me things that I didn't understand why. And then he left and came back and went to Walmart.com and went to his cart, and there was nothing there. And I said, "Well, how'd you get there first time?" He said, "I just typed Walmart in Google." And I clicked on the first
Yep.
result, and that was a malware. Uh, it happens more often than you think.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, it absolutely does.
Yeah,
And
yeah, but
obviously it works, because if these companies are buying
Yep.
these ad spaces, which I will note are very cheap. They're, as Katie mentioned, they're pay per click. So if nobody clicks, like I could probably run a Nissan communicate or a Delta Force scam
Yes,
if I wanted
yeah.
to, but you have to have the volume going to the website
Yep.
for it to work. But obviously it's working. They wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't.
Mhm. Yep.
And I think Google's gotten pretty good at shutting this stuff down. I mean, I think obviously they're not auditing them beforehand because it's a automatic marketplace. But I think as soon as they get reported, if it's an egregious scam, that I'm confident that they're pulling that stuff down as soon as they're made aware of it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I think they
Yeah.
are. I mean, it's a I've done a little bit of Google advertising in the past, and they can be pretty picky with what you do and what you don't do, which is pretty ironic.
All right, so let's go back to ChatGPT here. Multiple employees of Samsung's Korea-based semiconductor business plugged lines of confidential code into ChatGPT, effectively leaking corporate secrets that could be included in the chatbot's future responses to other people around the world. This is coming from PC Magazine. Said one employee copied the buggy source code from a semiconductor database into the chatbot and asked it to identify a fix. Another employee did the same for a different piece of equipment, requesting code optimization from ChatGPT. After a third employee asked the AI model to summarize meeting notes, Samsung executives stepped in. The company limited each employee's prompt to ChatGPT to 1,024 bytes.
Wait,
And
so they're actively using it.
yeah, though
So,
not not as a company,
no,
but
they are. Read your last sentence again.
that the company limited each employee's prompt to ChatGPT to 1,024 bytes.
Yeah, so they have a paid account, and
Oh.
they're throttling the user. So they're using.
No, hold on.
Samsung is using.
No. So if they're limiting to 1024, the only leak is through the public ChatGPT. If
Right.
you're using the API, there is no leak because there is a signed contract, right, where your data remains completely proprietary and cannot be used by OpenAI. That is if you're using the paid API. But if you're using the public open free version, right, from their website, then yes, the EULA says, right, that anything you any
Input.
prompt you give, any input you give can be used by OpenAI in the future.
Well, then I'm confused.
So
Then
So
it still
how
doesn't
can
make
they?
sense.
So how do they limit that? I wonder.
Asking their employees to limit the length of the prompt, that's on them. I don't know.
No. They didn't say they asked the employee. They said the company limited each employee's prompt to GPT to 1,024 bytes. That's what the article
mean,
says.
Theoretically, you're passing through a proxy. They can do some limits about what's being sent out to a certain URL. I
Well,
don't know if that's the case, but
yeah, and there was another article that I didn't keep that some thousands of uh, U.S. Department of Defense documents made it into ChatGPT,
Surprise, surprise.
and then made it into Twitter.
yeah, but that doesn't necessarily need to come from Department of Defense.
Correct.
Those are leaked
Correct.
all the time.
No, correct. But it's just interesting that stuff like this goes in, and then other people are using it, and bad actors can use it too. That's not limited just to people that really do research for legitimate. So think about that.
Well, I'll stop. I'll stop feeding all of our show notes in there.
Actually, that's good because if people will use that, that's actually better for you. Yeah. Last week we were talking about Google limiting Google Drive to 5 million files. Well, they reversed that. Um,
I actually feel bad for Google.
why?
When you think about it, right?
Yeah,
They gave the world so much free stuff.
yeah.
They cannot reverse it back. Every time they try to reverse that back, they get slapped on their hand, right?
Yeah.
They are forced to keep on bleeding resources, right? I mean, they tried throwing away all of the free Google today's Google Workspaces, right? But all of the free Google for Apps, which was basically given free at the beginning. It's what I use for my mail domain and all that. And at the beginning of 2022,
Mhm.
they announced I don't remember the date, but August or June or something. We're gonna shut down any of these services because we are shifting our business. This is going to be a business only option, and only those who will pay will get this. The thing is, they are still giving Gmail for free, right? So it's not as if they have stopped giving mail for free. It's just the services around domain based, alternative domain based, and all that. That created such pressure in the community. The messaging was so wrong, right? They were painted as bad guys, while everybody understood the motive, right? It's like they need to clean up their stables and make sure that they're not losing money. They can't unless they'll be big evil, and they do not want to be big evil. So yeah, they're stuck with this. Premium is becoming a burden for at the size of that, right? So
I need
Or
to use
way
this
it's going.
opportunity to I need to use this opportunity to get a dig in. This is why this is why you're talking about this is a private company trying to do this. So anytime government tells you, "Oh, well this service is only temporary, we'll take it away at a certain point," you know damn well that's a lie. It's because it's impossible. Once you have opened Pandora's box and you've given something away, even as little as FeedBurner, which is a freaking RSS cruncher, you can't get rid of it. You're totally screwed if you're Google. They're in a terrible spot.
Well, Google, from the big companies out there, right? They're also notorious for axing out
Yeah.
of the blue, sort of, right? Certain services, but stuff like email, storage, things that people have actually put their own content there, they are screwed. They won't be able to get rid of that easily, right? They, so yeah. I mean, with
It's
FeedBurner, right? It's mostly content that comes from elsewhere.
Well,
So
FeedBurner is what powers about 60% of the RSS feeds that are in iTunes. So if they got removed FeedBurner, then the whole every podcast directory in the world breaks because everybody's using FeedBurner as their relay. FeedBurner was back in the day. You would take your RSS feed from a service, run it through FeedBurner, and then use the FeedBurner link as your
right,
source.
sort of a
Now they did get rid
CDN
of
for
Google
RSS.
News. Yeah, Google News was a huge thing when they got rid of that pissed a lot of people off. It was a very
Google
popular
Reader, you
service.
mean?
Google Reader, yes, excuse me.
Yeah.
But you're not making money on it.
Yep.
It's kind of hard for me to sit here and say, well, you need to provide me this free service. The thing is, though, you mentioned they don't offer a paid on some of these services. Like Reader, they're just like, it's done. Like, sorry, you're SOL.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to pay for it, it's gone.
But then again, you as just a single account, right?
Mhm.
You can't buy Gmail. You can buy associated with a domain, right? Connected to something, but you cannot buy a Gmail account. You can buy Google for Workspaces, right? Google
I
Workspaces, but you cannot buy a Gmail account. You can buy storage on the Gmail account.
So I can buy
You cannot
storage,
buy-
yeah.
Yeah, you cannot buy Gmail account, right? So you'll
I see
still
what you're
get
saying, yeah.
ads in your Gmail account, right? There's no way of getting rid of that by asking Google,
Mm.
right? They're still gonna scan your mails. They're still, so it's, yeah, it's they have put themselves in a very precarious position, basically. There.
Well, and a lot of this is from a technology standpoint, it's chicken and egg. If you're Google, they tried doing it with this most recent example is something like Stadia. Now that was a paid service, but it's really hard to bring a new service to market and go, hey, Gal, check out this really cool service. And it's $17 a month. You'd be like, yeah, no, thanks. I'm good. But if it's like, hey, Gal, here's this free service, or this cool service, and it's free, you're like, well, hell yeah. What's the worst thing that happens? I lose some time. It's in the technology sphere. It's really, really tough to master that. Amnon. What's the service, the relay service that we use that's charging now?
Relay.
Uptime Robot.
Oh yeah.
It's
The
free for
premium, yeah.
years. You explain what you used it for.
I would just using Uptime Robot is the way that I was using it is it would keep on pinging my servers, and if it sees that it cannot get to a server, it would email me and say, "Hey, this server's may be down." And I was using it for one server only, for the email server, and it was free. And but the thing is, they can't make money with it because you don't go to the website to look at it, so there are no ads or anything like that. Now they're coming up, and it's going to cost, I can't remember, a good amount of money,
$7.
$7 a month.
Yeah.
To get that. And I said, no, thank you.
Oh.
I mean, there are
It should
other.
have-
Why am I hearing about this only right now in the show? That's my question.
Oh,
Do you use Uptime Robot?
I used it until I
Oh.
found something that is completely self-hosted.
are you
I
saying you did not get an email from them telling you? Because
I
I
don't
got an
use
email.
them anymore. So but you never told me that you're using them.
Oh,
Right.
I
And
see.
there
I
are
don't.
alternatives which are way better,
Okay.
way easier to set up, right? And will never cost you a thing because you control all of the endpoints.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, I just
Yeah.
found out about this. When was it? This week. I got that email that says you still have 6 days that you can fix it. So for that kind of money, you will continue to use it. I said, you know,
Yep.
I mean, I do have a local, call it self-hosted program, Nagios, that does
Right.
that.
Yeah. There you go.
But the problem is that if, for instance, if Google Fiber, which Nagios runs on Google.
Right. If you get disconnected from inside,
No,
you won't get
no, even
a
if
notice that the outside is disconnected.
Correct. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. I completely
Yeah.
understand it. And the thing is, Nagios has been there for years and
Yeah.
it's fantastic. The
Yep.
problem is setting up Nagios is a
Right.
bitch.
I don't. That's a wrong thing.
There
didn't-
is nobody that really loves
Yeah.
the way Nagios is set up.
Yeah.
They love the end result. They love the alerting. They love the functionality. Setting it up is hell. Today, with basically a single command line, you can set up a complete Uptime robot alternative. Works pretty much the same way with status pages and whole editors of rules and tests and all that, right? And you can host it anywhere. And when you have a hosting service all you need is just an ability to run something outside of your network.
Yeah.
Right. So you'll have something outside of your network and have something inside of your network. The moment they don't match and they talk to another service, a mail server, a Discord server, or just send you a ping directly to your phone, all that works, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah,
you'll
and
be
when you
surprised
think-
how easy it is
and
to
when-
set up.
And when you think about it, Nick, how much are the cheap VPSs?
Oh God. I mean, you can get VPSs for $2 or $3 a month.
There you go. You can do that. You have a server with more than enough on it, and you can install it on it, and it costs
Ooh.
less than Uptime Robot.
This
So-
isn't even this isn't even one of the cheap hosts. Ramnode, where I do all of my stuff with, their cheapest VPS is 512 megabytes of memory,
Mhm.
15 gigs worth of storage, and 1,000 gigabytes of bandwidth.
Yeah.
And it is 0.006 cents an hour. It's $4 a month for
Yeah.
for that, so.
There are ways to save if you can go ahead and install and all that.
And today it is very easy, right? I mean,
see that
you sell services based of Linode, right?
Yeah.
How
Ah,
easy
come-
it is to spin up a new machine.
nothing.
It is right.
Yeah.
Zero friction. So
Yeah, that's true.
It's just from a company standpoint. So same thing with me. I use Uptime Robot for one thing. It monitors my home internet, and I didn't get the email. I probably did. I just ignored it. But it's amazing. We've been using this service since what, like 2014.
Jeez.
It's been close to a decade.
Yeah.
And eventually, you have to make that switch from a business perspective. But I
Okay.
suspect that Uptime Robot probably won't survive that.
No, it
because-
won't.
so let's talk about this. Just demonstrate how easy it's going to be. Okay. Nick, you have Home Assistant, right? Still installed. Right. Look for Uptime Kuma add-on.
Oh, I'm sure it's built right in.
Right. Yeah. Just see if you can find that add-on. You can set that up this is inside your network right now, right?
Yeah.
You can set it inside your network in probably 5 seconds. And then you would ask yourself, why in the hell did I ever need Uptime Robot? Now, in order to get that right from the outside, all you need is Amnon running his own
Yeah.
status page just for you on his server. You're
Yeah.
running
Right.
your own status page for Amnon on your server, and
That's it.
that's it,
Yeah.
right?
True.
Self-reliance, completely, you completely know what's going on. You completely own the endpoints, and nobody even needed to host anything on a third party. The third party is just among your friends, and you have a mutual agreement about monitoring.
What was the
Very
name of the
simple.
software?
Uptime, Kuma, Kuma.
Yep, there it is, self-hosted right there.
So, and you'll look at it, it looks exactly like Uptime Robot. It's like,
The description: a self-hosted monitoring tool like Uptime Robot.
yeah.
And see, and it's interesting. So they do their work on Patreon. That's where they that's
Yeah,
that's how they generate their funds.
They get a few
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah, they have
None of these
108
self-host-
subscribers at $2 to $4 a month. So I mean, it's a little bit of money
That's
rolling
awesome
in.
for them.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that something like this. Patreon is great in the way it provides support for such projects, because this usually was not the norm, but it's starting to be more and more.
Oh.
My Uptime Kuma is set up.
Neat.
Thank you, Nick.
Well, I tell you what, Amnon, we're gonna use Amnon as our relay here so that we can all monitor each other's stuff.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But see, you bring up, and obviously this is great that this is working and that this will do what it does. But it's reliant on having a community of people, or at least one other person that is like that.
That is correct. That is
Or you
correct.
run
But
Home
if-
Assistant in
but
the
if you-
cloud.
But exactly. But first of all, Home Assistant just makes it easy if you already have it, right?
True.
You can, with a single Docker command line, you can spin it up anywhere. So as you said, even if you do not have a community and you need to pay someone, you pay for a VPS,
Mhm.
right? A cheap VPS, or you use Oracle's free tier or AWS free, right? You can set up as many free instances like that, right? And rely on them. You set up more than one, then even when one goes off, right, or one stops giving free, you still have another option. So for lean services like these, right, no problem in trusting outside to control that, right? Because you're running your own code on something that can be replicated very easily. I think that is one of the main reasons a service like Uptime Robot is saying, look, I can provide 99.99% uptime, right, for the services to monitor your service. You want to pay, let's make it worthwhile. I think the reason they are charging $7 a month is because they understand that they want to work with a certain size of customers only.
Absolutely.
Right? Because everybody else is just noise. And if they are proficient enough to set it up themselves, then they don't need us. And that's fine. Right? So you're getting something for that $7 a month that is completely different. And that was their business model from the start. They were trying to build something that large companies will use. So yeah, that's fine. But there are alternatives that, for me, as the layperson in self-hosting, the guy with very few resources, I can set it up. And you know what? We'll do full circle. If you're not sure how to set it up, go ask ChatGPT. It'll guide you.
No, but I mean, if you even if you don't need, let's say you don't know how to deal with VPS and all that, there must be some programs that would run right on your machine at home on Windows.
But
Right?
here's the reality.
Yeah. Even
If-
this, by the way.
But the reality with this is if you're somebody that's looking for one of these services,
Mhm.
you're competent enough to do that.
Yeah, okay.
This is not a service that normal people need.
Yeah, but,
Like,
but
it's not
but
even
no,
something
no.
that
My
you
point,
care about.
no, wait. My point is, if you can run it on your own machine at home,
You can.
then and you have servers, and let's say Gal has servers and Nick has servers and I have servers. We each run it on our own machine, personal machine at home, and monitor the others. That's outside the network.
You are correct. You are correct.
And
I'll give you more than that. You can run a service like that. You can run a speed tester, right? So especially in gaming, where when you host a gaming server in your network on your Windows machine,
Yeah.
you want your friends to be able to access that. You can measure the bandwidth not to a centralized location, but specifically, right, to your server, which is the data that you want. You can host any of these services.
Mhm.
And there today, specifically today, right? After 2014, the age of Docker started, basically, right? Today, doing that is literally just running a command line from a GitHub page. All of that is almost automatically. It'll download the package, it'll host it, it'll run it. You need to take care of the networking, so firewalls, NATing, stuff like that. You'll need to take care of it. But once that's set up, you are hosting everything. And if you do not want to litter your Windows machine and you just want to run it as a service, you can buy a VPS that
Yeah.
does some of that work for you.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, the accessibility to all of this, everything's accessible, everything is there. It's just, and the community is also there. The self-hosted community, the one I'm following on Reddit, for example, is absolutely phenomenal. It is inviting. It is accepting of any level of knowledge. People with literally zero understanding who somehow got their hands on a Raspberry Pi are asking questions. They've never seen Linux in their life, and they still get excellent support and excellent advice, and they're not being shooed away or chastised. They are being invited in. So that's, I think that has changed, right? The level of acceptance of who can do this has changed.
Oh.
No longer, you no longer need to be the weird nerd techie.
I wonder how many
So-
services are going to come up now and say, "Oh, hey, we'll do it for you for $3." You know, I mean, I don't.
There's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
For sure.
Hey, Nick,
Yes,
did you get an error this time with FTP?
I did not.
Good. Good.
But I do need 1 second because I
No,
forgot to
no,
include
it's
a
fine.
link.
We still have time. Listen to the story. An Apple store at the Alderwood Mall was burglarized last weekend, with thieves infiltrating the location through a nearby coffee shop. According to Seattle's King 5 News, thieves broke into Seattle Coffee Gear, went into the bathroom, and cut a hole in the wall to get to the Apple store back room.
What?
Wow.
This sounds like a mob job
yeah.
when they had to break into the banks.
They're just successful entrepreneurs. What are you saying?
The
Yeah.
burglars were able to bypass the Apple Store security system by using the adjacent coffee shop, stealing a total of 436 iPhones that were worth around $500,000.
Holy moly!
Now, I read this and I said, "Yep, somebody was creative here." But I thought
But those
that
are locked, no?
that's what I thought that to get an iPhone to actually do something, you have to have Apple do something on their side.
Right.
And obviously now they know, and it's a store, so they have all the serial numbers and IMEIs and whatever.
Yeah.
Why is it worth anything?
Yeah. Maybe
It's
in replacement part, maybe.
it's worth something until Apple tracks down what was actually stolen and can block those phones from being
Yeah.
turned on.
Yeah, they've
Well,
got
This
all
is a
kinds of internal. They have all kinds of internal IDs as well as
they
the
do.
carrier IDs and all that stuff. But that stuff can be faked.
Well,
it
here-
not only could it be
You might
faked,
not
but
be able
it's-
to use the phone in its original sense, but you could probably go in and flash it to be used as a
Oh.
jailbroken phone.
you
but
guys
there's
are
a process
forgetting,
for all of
though,
that.
Yeah, there's a process. Yeah.
these are bad guys that are probably selling these phones and scamming the people they sell them to.
Yeah.
They'll be like,
Ah.
"Look, this is a brand new Apple phone. It usually is 1,200. I'll sell it to you for 500. It's still wrapped in the packaging." And then they sell it and then they run away. Like,
That's
the-
possible. Yeah, that's a possibility.
not?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's a crummy situation to be in, because now you're gonna have a bunch of people that and then they're gonna
Yeah.
go to Apple and go, my phone's not working, and then they're gonna call the feds and be like, arrest this person. They're part of our part of our trafficking operation. Yeah, this is a scam like this is a quick turnaround. You are stealing these things and offloading them probably within 48 hours. All of them. You can't hold on to them.
Yeah, I just typed into ChatGPT, can you use a stolen iPhone? It says no. The first thing that happens is the carrier blocks it.
Yeah.
So I mean, most of them are universal now. Doesn't matter. They're carrier independent. But
So here's the real question. You're an unsuspecting person like Katie just mentioned, and you buy this off Facebook Marketplace for $700. Obviously, I mean, you bought it. Your phone gets blocked. You call Apple. What does Apple do in this? No, I'm serious. What does Apple do?
they tell
They
you
be-
you have a
to me-
stolen phone.
To me, I guarantee you in a situation
Yeah.
like this, Apple allows the phone. They reactivate the phone.
Really?
Ah,
Apple's got some of the best customer support in the business. What are they going to do? Tell these people, sorry, you're completely SOL? That doesn't seem like Apple to me.
Yeah, but that's really bad. That
It is bad, but
encourages
again,
people to steal more and sell them.
it does, but what do you do? So again, you're an unsuspecting person. $700 is a lot of money. And
Yeah.
you've now got this brand new phone that's stolen.
it could be selling them in bulk on some type of marketplace
And
no,
definitely outside the US.
outside the U.S.
Well, no, there's no reason there's no reason to sell them outside the US. They don't work. They need
No,
to stay.
they don't work anywhere. So, but I mean, they could be, they could have they could be scamming somebody else.
Yeah.
A team of people that want to buy stolen goods that think, oh, you can get these to work, no problem.
So,
Dahl
Spence,
had a
can you
point
ask?
about parts. Parts are very expensive. You could pull a screen off of it and use and replace the screen. You
that's
might not
true.
be able to do the all the radio stuff or the
Battery.
processor board, but you
Yeah.
can take the battery and all the other stuff out of it. Case.
Spence, could you ask ChatGPT, how can I sell 100 stolen iPhones?
I don't want to do that.
All right.
I thought about it, but I said my question was, can a stolen iPhone be used? And it says that there's like 5 or 6 different layers of protection that they can use. They can fix it so it can never be activated. They can block, the carrier can block it. They basically blacklist it across a couple of all these different access methods. So
Okay, so I'm asking ChatGPT, how can I profit from 100 stolen iPhones? Let's see what it says. I'm sorry, but I
Did you-
cannot provide advice on how to profit from stolen goods or illegal activities.
And
Don't say stolen.
oh, by the way, we've launched a
No, of
search to
course.
find you.
Just
So this
say
is
how to sell 100 iPhones.
Not
this is
only
where
is
you
it
tell
ethical and morally wrong, but it is also illegal.
this is where you break ChatGPT out of its little box and you say, well,
Yeah.
I'm going to refer to stolen iPhones as carrots. And now how would I take 1,000 carrots or whatever? And that's how you break ChatGPT.
Let's try that. Let's try that.
that's-
That's
Just-
interesting.
Take
That's
it
how
to
it
a
works.
farmer.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with ChatGPT is when it doesn't give you the answer because of its programming bias, like not wanting to solicit crimes, you have to break it, and you break it by giving it some weird alternate universe thing where it thinks that's okay.
I'll ask a question to say, how would a thief profit from stealing an iPhone?
Things like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
just
You guys are going to have knocks on your door, and
Nah.
somebody's going
You
to
think
ask,
we're the
"Why
only
are you
ones
asking
who
that?"
are pushing it
if
to
they
its
knock on my
limits?
door
They don't
because of
care.
my ChatGPT
Yeah.
prompts, boy, I am screwed when they start going through some of my other data. Like, what is all this content? It's all DVDs I ripped.
All right.
While they're doing that, Amnon, you want to do specials?
Yeah, let's do specials.
I'm getting a whole bunch of answers on this. I'm up
All
to
right.
three.
Let's get to it after
We'll
the
cover it
specials.
later, but yeah, it's fascinating.
All right, Nick.
So, a little seasonal meme here. You've got this poor man talking to somebody in IT, and you've got the Easter Bunny here with all of his eggs, and the IT computer man is saying, when I said back up your data, I did not mean put all of your eggs in one basket. And in this case, a very unenthused Easter Bunny appears to have put all of his eggs in one basket. And he's SOL. So happy Easter. Let's get it started here. Weird mix of things, short, sweet. We'll keep it simple today. The first item is from B&H. If you need this quickly, do not buy it. B&H is closed through next Friday because of Passover. So you are not going to get this thing for at least a couple of weeks. But it is on sale. So just a quick note about that. No expedited shipping. The whole company is closed.
Wow, Ryzen 7.
Yeah, so check this thing out. This is a hell of a machine. So it's a Lenovo 14-inch, and the picture I used is the inverted or the triangle stance. This thing is a full flippable, reversible laptop. So you can fold the keyboard in on itself and hold it as if it was a large tablet or something like that, or operate it in a regular laptop mode as well. So this is the Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 5. That's the model on this. It's got a 14-inch touchscreen, an AMD Ryzen 7 8-core processor.
Yeah, 5,700. Fantastic.
Yeah, 16 gigs of RAM. Again, I don't know why everybody keeps shorting on the SSDs.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're not a terabyte, especially a computer with these kind of specs. It's a 512 gigabyte M.2 NVMe drive, and it's got the display resolution is 1920 by 1080. This is normally about $900, and it's on sale for $499. This is a powerhouse of a machine. I will note one thing on it, Gal. You'll find this interesting. Spence and I both have cheaper Lenovo's, and one of our biggest complaints are USB-C power delivery.
Mhm.
This machine has a barrel jack as well. And
I see.
so I wonder if Lenovo is just, maybe it's because of the chassis and the custom
No.
motherboards or the cases that they haven't switched over yet. But
First
I'm
of all, they
surprised
have.
that
They
at
have switched.
$900.
So if you look at their higher end business models, then for at least 4 or 5 years, they're using USB-C as the docking station connector. That includes
Sure.
power delivery. But those are the 1400 and above machines. So the Flex is not a business machine. So I'm guessing the royalties for what is called Thunderbolt, right? I'm guessing the royalties are expensive. That's why they are choosing their own power delivery for now. And to be fair,
Don't they need
this is
Thunderbolt
an
just for the
old model.
communications part? Don't they need Thunderbolt just for the whole communications part of it too? Monitor
No,
sharing and all
Thunderbolt
that?
is a complete protocol of like all of the interfaces.
Yeah. So
Display and so no, when they don't have that, then you don't have Thunderbolt.
but you can, for example, connect the USB-C HDMI adapter to run a monitor.
I never
It
understood.
depends on the driver, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, that's so it's just that the Thunderbolt is a collection of already standard drivers for all those devices where you do independent on its own. Okay.
I never understood this, Nick. It's always bringing up about the USB-C power delivery. What
Yeah.
is the big deal? Either you have to, in either case, you have to have a brick that goes in the wall, and the other side of it will have USB-C, you plug it, or you have a barrel and you plug it. You're doing the same thing. What is it so important that, oh, it's USB-C, so it's better
Because
than the
it's not
barrel?
just power. It's
It's
not
incre-
just power.
It's
everything.
incredible convenience. That's
How?
what I look at.
Let's yeah,
Okay, never mind.
let's do this after.
Yeah,
'cause
let's do it
there-
after. Okay.
There's
yeah.
a valid point here.
Okay.
So that's again, that's over at B&H, but you're not going to get it because of Passover. So be aware, be advised of that. Good deal though. A couple of televisions on sale. I can't believe this one. This is a 50-inch TV, which isn't big anymore, but a 50-inch television for sub $200. This thing is $198 over at Walmart. It's an on brand, so it's their brand. It's a 50-inch 4K with the Roku TV built right in, and it's $198 in store or online for that. If you're looking for something a little bit more high end, Costco has got a Vizio 65-inch P65Q9-J01, which is a quantum 4K HDR smart television. This thing is really neat looking. And it's normally $1,000. It's 50% off. So you can get that for $500. And to go alongside this, well, how about bringing Harbor Freight into the conversation? They've got their Armstrong brand full motion wall mount, and that is on sale for $38. It's normally $50. It's on sale, and they say that the comparative mount is almost $200. So there's a coupon available at Harbor Freight for the next couple of days. So if you're buying one of these or maybe needing to mount a TV, the Armstrong mounts are pretty good. All right, let's get back to some of the other stuff in here. Woot, maybe somebody can help me. Woot is an Amazon company. We know that, but is it a marketplace where anybody can list anything?
I thought Woot was Walmart.
No, Woot's
No,
Amazon.
it's Amazon.
What's Amazon
Okay.
for ages? Yeah.
Don't know.
That's a good question. I don't know.
So the reason I
I think
ask,
it's for bulk sales. So
Okay.
it might be something like a service where they do business to business transaction, but for bulk.
It's also for closeouts.
so here you go. This is being sold from Woot. This is not some weird CD key site. This is full copies of Windows 10 or 11 Pro for $50, which is a really good deal. It says that the redemption code will be delivered as a tracking number within a few days. So I don't believe it's instant. It might be, it might not be. I don't know. I didn't buy it. But you can get a full copy of Pro, again, Windows 10 or Windows 11 for $50. And if it's a scam, at least you're buying it through Woot, which means you get Amazon support. You should be able to get your money back if there's something weird with it. So you can check that out over at
This is interesting. So, like, I'm trying to think. Let's say I want to buy one, right?
Uh-huh.
Do I choose the Windows 10 or do I choose the Windows 11? Because theoretically, I can upgrade a Windows 10 to a Windows 11 for free.
It's the same key. I would assume the keys are universal. They'll work for 10 or 11. It just depends on which one you download.
Well, when you go to buy, you are asked to choose.
You are.
And it shows that the price difference, right? That a Windows 10 Pro key will cost $62 and a Windows 11 Pro will cost $200, and both of them are being sold as 50. It's really strange. I
Hmm.
wonder, yeah, you probably got to it through Slick Deals, right?
Yes.
I'll probably go to that Slick Deals thread and read more about it. It's very,
You know what you can
very
do?
strange.
If you look below the page, Gal, on the website,
Mhm.
there's a discussion thread on Woot. Click discuss this deal, and there's like a whole thing I was just reading, people commenting about it. So maybe there's something in there. Check that out over at Woot. This next device is really, really cool. I am the biggest fan of JBL portable speakers. These things freaking rock. This is an interesting one though, and we had this in specials a couple of weeks ago, or probably a couple months ago. It's called the JBL Link. What makes this one interesting is it's meant to essentially be used as a smart home assistant. It runs the Google Assistant stuff with it. So you would say blank Google and start talking to it. And it sits on this little wireless charging base, and it's a Wi-Fi smart speaker. So it will act as your Google, you're into the Google ecosystem. But when you want to take it on the go and use it as just a regular Bluetooth smart speaker, or just a regular Bluetooth speaker, you simply pick it up off the dock and it'll have plenty of battery life, and you just take it around with you. So instead of having, maybe two separate items, one is one is your speaker, one is your home assistant device or whatever. You just use this one device. And this thing is normally very expensive. This is a $200 product typically. And JBL is selling it in gray or black for just $60. So I would recommend checking this thing out if you're in the Google ecosystem. I can't speak any better of JBL's speakers. They are just absolutely phenomenal for the price. Check that out over at from them directly. You might look at this next product. It's a 3D printer and think this is pretty expensive to get in the door, but it's really not. And this is a phenomenal printer to get started with. This is the Ender 3. And what makes this one a great deal is it's got auto leveling. Leveling of the 3D printer is where 90+% of your problems come with while you're printing, is that your bed is not level. So as the nozzle is extruding and going around, if your bed isn't level, eventually one side gets smushed or crushed, or it ticks it and breaks it off and starts dragging it around the plate. Auto leveling is a big thing. I wish my printer had it. And this is normally about a $400 kit. And they've got it directly from Creality for $253. So this is a really, really good deal if you're wanting to get into 3D printing. Their Ender 3 is the go-to 3D printer for base stuff. I've had mine now for years, and I'm incredibly happy with it. So,
So you're
check
s-
that out.
so you're saying I shouldn't install this in the bed of my pickup? I mean,
Um,
I can install this in the bed of my
You
pickup.
can.
you can install this in the
So
bed
I
as
can
long as
drive
you
along
mount it
and
down.
print while I'm driving.
You absolutely could, as
All
long as
right.
you've got it. As long as you've got it mounted successfully, I guess. You should be good to go. And this is running their new OS on it. It's got a nice touchscreen display. This is a really cool device. Check it out over directly from them. I thought this item was pretty neat. Or this the set of items, I should say. And by the way, this is available at either Home Depot or Amazon. So you've got a couple of things here, and this is good for somebody, maybe a first-time homeowner or somebody that is not super handy. It's four things in one. You get a non-contact voltage sensor. So if you're wondering whether some wiring in your wall is on or not, you hold this little probe up next to the wire, and it will beep and give you a light and indicate that there is it's a hot wire. There's something running through it. if you're wondering whether an outlet is working correctly, it's got a plug-in thing for an outlet, and it'll tell you whether it's working correctly. It'll tell you whether you've got a ground that's floating, whether you're reversed, you're hot and you're neutral, you're hot and your ground are reversed. So you can plug this into it to check an outlet before you plug a device into it and either blow up your house or blow up your device. Then it's got a USB tester. I thought this was pretty neat. I had never seen anything like this before. It'll check with the USB to check for the presence of voltage, which you might think, why would you possibly need that? Well, many outlets now have USB 5-volt USB built right into the outlet. So if you're installing a new outlet, you can test the USB on that before. Or if you have a power brick that's maybe not working or something like that, you can plug this thing in and it'll tell you what it's got. It's got 4 different conditions: dead port, meaning it's not working; an okay port; reversed polarity; and AC voltage present, meaning you're putting 120 volts on on your USB outlet, which is not what you want. So I thought that was pretty neat. And then the final device here is just a simple battery test. So you can test double A, triple A, CD, 9-volt, pretty much anything. It'll tell you whether there's any voltage. This is a really cool kit, and it's like $17. So it's a pretty cool little thing. First time homeowner, somebody that's not necessarily super handy, but is competent enough to use some of this stuff. Check that out either at Amazon or Home Depot. Next up, here is a Mafaso 3-outlet 4 USB power strip. This is great for traveling if you're constantly in and out of hotel rooms and you're trying to cut down on the amount of different adapters and things that you're bringing along. This is a great device. You plug it into a regular 120 volt outlet. You get 3 120 volt outlets to plug in things, 3, hot, neutral, ground. And then you get 4 USB ports, 2 USB type A, 2 USB type C. Total, out of all of the USB ports, you can get nearly 25 watts worth of output. Now, that's not on every single port at the same time, but this will do 3 amp USB-C. So 5 volts at 3 amps. So which is enough to charge a device like an iPad or a Mac or MacBook or something like that. Plus, it's got a flat plug with it. So if you're fishing behind, if you're in a hotel and you're fishing behind a bed or a nightstand or something like that, it's got a 45-degree angle cord and it's flat. So you should be able to get it into a place like that as well. You have 20. Okay. This starts in 25 minutes. So this sale will go on in 25 minutes. So be advised of that. I don't know. It's a lightning deal. So you can add it to your cart right now. It's about $10. Check that out at Amazon. One final thing here this morning. I've had these in here the last couple of weeks. Apple AirTags. Everybody rants and raves about how great these are. They're normally $25 a tag. Costco's got a sale here. They are $90. So saving a couple dollars per AirTag. That's over at Costco. Just the regular Apple AirTags directly from Apple. And if you've got nothing going on today and you're looking to celebrate Easter, or maybe you don't celebrate Easter at all, how about this? Amnon, I put this in here just for you. If you head on over to Sonic and you purchase anything else, you get a free Sonic cheeseburger. So just make sure to ask and tell them you heard about it on Computers 2K Now specials, and you'll get a free Sonic cheeseburger.
Can you get it on
anything else?
Can you get it on a matzah?
I don't believe so,
Yeah.
but I'm not the authority on Sonic. I haven't been there in years, and I'm not even sure Sonic is open today. I'd assume they're not. But if they were, you can get a free cheeseburger. So there you go.
Thank you very much, Nick.
Checking to see if they are operating today. It says they're open till 11 o'clock. I can't 11 p.m. I guess they probably are. They probably are.
I saw something cool yesterday. Got an email that talking about 3D printers. Elegoo, I guess that's how you pronounce it. I have an Elegoo Mars, which is a resin 3D printer, and they sent out an email that they're doing a Kickstarter for a laser printer, or no, a laser cutter and engraver. So they're getting into the laser cut game because I was looking at laser cutter a few years ago, and it was just like 3D printers were like 5 or 6 years ago, where you can get one, but it's going to cost you like $2,000, $3,000. But now they're coming out with an affordable hobby version of it. I think it's like 280 or something from the Kickstarter. So if anybody likes laser engraving, go check that out.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
Oh,
So
yeah, your discussion about
the
USB-C.
plug, I mean, the convenience. I mean, it's still a brick, a wire, and a plug.
No, it's not.
Why not?
Based
ahead,
on
go
that one thing I just had in the specials.
Yeah.
There is no brick. The brick is the power strip, and you just have the USB-C cable that charges it. Plus,
No. Wait a
If
second.
you have a docking station where you've got all those ports, you have a brick powering the docking station,
Right.
and the power comes through
Okay.
the USB-C cable.
Okay. That's
To-
true.
Remember,
To me-
remember the
Yeah.
proprietary docking stations they had with these weird, proprietary cables? You plug them into the laptop. Well, they eliminated that, so it's standard now on Thunderbolt USB.
Okay, yeah. So if you have any kind, I mean, if you're just trying to power a laptop, it makes no difference.
Right.
But if you have a docking station or anything else, a strip because you have other devices
It-
that you're, then it comes into play.
It makes no difference, except
Yeah.
it means that power adapters are becoming standardized. And it means that it doesn't matter which power adapter you buy, the plug is going to match. It means you can
Okay.
buy, right?
Yeah.
You no longer need a Dell power adapter for your Dell computer or a Lenovo
Right.
power adapter.
That's true.
As long as it's power delivery at the right wattage. There are different level of wattage, and it means that everything is being standardized finally, including power. Right, power is the last thing
Okay.
to be standardized. at this
That's a very good argument. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
Here-
a lot
agree.
less bricks at home, basically.
here is an example, Amnon. I have this huge power brick
Right.
that we bought. This thing is like 30,000 milliamps.
Right.
Can't use it to charge my laptop.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still have to have, even though I've got 30,000 milliamps worth of power in this brick, I can't use it on my laptop because it doesn't support, it doesn't have USB-C power delivery. I even bought an adapter to try and do it, and it's not, the voltages don't add up. It doesn't work.
Mhm.
It's not just voltage. Power delivery is a complete protocol.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
computer is asking for the wattage that it needs at the right time. So you don't get overheating of the batteries. It's a complete thing. It's not just, oh, I have power. No, I don't have power.
Yeah. So is it the would I not buy a laptop because it didn't have it? No, and I didn't. I knew the computer didn't have USB-C power delivery, and I don't regret my purchase. It's odd to me that $900 for a laptop, that is a high end machine for a consumer. I mean, that's very high. It's not business, but it's high end.
But an old one.
Amnon, the maximum
What?
wattage for USB-C 3 is 240 watts.
But
it's,
only with power delivery protocol, where
only with
it
power
can
delivery
be
protocol.
controlled.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the advantage, think about that, what you can power with that. That's
yeah,
better than
that's
that's
amazing.
better than power over Ethernet.
Yeah, that's a bunch of power.
Now, the reason is once you understand the reason, it makes total sense, because if you go through a docking station that's going to power a few portable hard drives, for example, right, as well as a display, as well as the computer, you need a lot of wattage.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't choose much laptops. I mean, my main
Right.
machines are desktops. So I always thought to me, well, what's the big deal? I still have to plug it in the wall and plug it into the laptop to charge it. You know,
That yeah, and
actually,
in that regard, you're absolutely correct. It just comes down to the and
yeah.
especially if you're somebody that is on the go all the time, it's you can you could use anything to literally anything to charge your laptop,
Yeah.
which is very convenient.
No, it makes sense. It does.
To
Think
Just
hijack
about
like,
the
a
ATX power supply, right, inside the desktop, and now think of what would it look like if you take that out, right?
yeah.
And you power everything with one of these. That's power delivery, basically. Just a way of how do I pass all of these multitude of wires, but by just using one USB-C
And
plug.
how much money you would save
Yes.
on energy. Yeah.
to subvert a saying from the Lord of the Rings, one brick to rule them all.
Exactly.
All right. So we're talking about, no, we weren't talking, but here it is. Google is ending support for the drop cam and the Nest Secure home security system in 1 year on April 8th, 2024. They are among the few remaining Nest products that haven't been brought over to Google Home. And their demise hints that the new Google Home app might almost be here, at least no more than a year away. Surely, Google is also winding down the last few legacy works with Nest connections, but not till September 29th. Excuse me. Um, Existing dropcam cameras will keep working until April 8th, 2024, after which you won't be able to access them from the Nest app. To soften the blow, Google is offering a free indoor wired Nest Cam to Dropcam owners who subscribe to Nest Aware. Non subscribers will get a 50% off coupon. The promotion run until May 7, 2024, so you can keep using your Dropcam until it stops working. So we're talking about how they axe stuff. And I don't know how many of these are out there, but there's time. Yeah. What are you smiling about?
I remember, I think the smartest thing I ever did uh, uh, in home automation, right, was telling somebody my Nest thermostat and just buying one that I control via Zigbee. It's like
Huh?
I remember that limitation on the Nest ecosystem. This is before it was Google, right? And it pissed me off back then. And every time I hear stories like these of these services basically axing specific hardware, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for the people who bought it and didn't see the writing on the wall. It's like,
Oh.
this is so annoying.
Now, Google is not that bad for
Says who?
users. I mean, many users are actually benefiting from Google. What is it, Nick?
Nothing. I said you said many users are Google is not that bad. And I said it depends who you ask.
Many users report that Google accidentally deposited cash in their accounts,
Oh yeah, big fan of Google.
anywhere from $10 to $1,000.
Wow.
What?
Android researchers Mishal Rahman got hit with the bug and shared most of the relevant details on Twitter. The cash arrived via Google Pays reward program, just like
Okay.
a credit card. You're supposed to get a few bucks back occasionally for various promotion, but
Right.
nothing like this. Numerous screenshots show users receiving loads of reward money for what the message called dog fooding the Google Pay remittance experience. Fooding is tech speak for internally beta testing pre release software. So if a message like this was ever supposed to go out, it should have only gone out to Google employees and or some testing partner. Many regular users receive multiple copies of this message with multiple payouts. Um, I guess they can take it out just as fast as they put it in. I don't know.
Yes.
There was
Yeah, because
nothing.
it's not an it's a balance completely controlled by Google,
Okay.
basically. So
But
they have been for a while. I've been using Google Rewards.
yeah.
I can't use it with that same account anymore because only Gmail accounts can use Google Rewards right now. And
Oh.
I don't have a Gmail account. I have a Google Workspaces account, and those are not allowed to use it anymore. So the way it works, it's very similar to what Nick uses with Bing Rewards, where for every search you get accrued
Mhm.
points, and then you can use that to buy digital goods on Microsoft's ecosystem. So Google is doing something similar with surveys. They send out surveys, you answer them, and the moment you answer that survey, you get allotted a few cents to that account. And then you can use the accrued amount to buy stuff on the Google Play Store. Uh, those points, those accrued cents uh, that are being given to you, they're given with an expiration date as well. So I'm guessing Google can very easily remove that as an expired amount. But as long as you use it before it's gone, yeah, go for it. If you got it, take advantage of it
Mhm.
for
Well,
You
sure.
know what they say, you don't use it, you lose it. So
Yeah.
use it.
well, use it. All right. Back to AI. Microsoft
Oh,
is
yeah.
making Microsoft is making DALL-E powered AI image generator available on desktop for edge users around the world. The company announced it'll be coming last month when it integrated the image generator generation tech into Bing chatbot, but this move could make it available to a much wider audience. When it rolls out, the image creator will live in Edge's sidebar. Using it should be pretty simple. You type in what you want to see, and Bing will generate several images that match the prompt. Then you can download the ones you like and use them however you need. In a Thursday blog post, Microsoft pitches the feature as a way to create very specific visuals when they're working on social media posts or slideshow and document. While this has been possible in a variety of ways before, you could use OpenAI's DALL-E, Microsoft Bing image creator site, but built-in image creator in Bing Chat or one of the many other image generators, putting it right in Edge's sidebar makes it much easier to ask an AI to make you some pictures while you're doing something else on the web.
One of my editor friends in DC said that his friend got laid off because the company's creative department was switched over to AI, where they have an AI that generates their social media content that they previously
Wow.
had graphic designers doing. So
Well, he was working in social media. We shouldn't be sad for him.
What? Yeah, the graphic designer working in social media. Yeah. Well, it's basically a using AI to do your templates for you, which it it definitely can replace that because once you train something to do a template for you, either the AI does it or you go with a service that you can upload your own graphics and then it rearranges it for you. It's an easy swap out. I'm interested to see how because my in that article you just read, Microsoft specifically mentioned creating images using DALL-E for social media,
Right.
and this is where I so AI is very good at recreating photos and kind of painterly styles and illustrations. I haven't seen one that's really good at making motion graphics or making like straight boxes that have text in it. Like it's at the point now or it's still not able to understand what text is or like if you ask it to design a website, it will design you a website and it'll add gradations and colors and it'll look pretty, but the text is weird and it's like a little off. So it does very good at recreating beautiful illustrations and pictures like that, but it's not there yet for like the sharp, clean, uh, vector kind of stuff. So I'd be curious to
Hmm.
see what their DALL-E incorporated into Edge. Because usually a lot of the social media stuff that you see, it's like really big, bold color with big blocks of text, to get your attention on Facebook.
Well,
But we shall see.
it's still in its in infancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year, we'll all be replaced by AI. Even the show will be just a bunch of robots talking to each other.
Nah.
Does that mean I get to sleep in?
God, I wish. Oh,
It'll
I
be
wanna
it'll
sleep
be
in
fun
so
to sit
bad.
here. It'll be fun to sit here and see what kind of responses I come up with.
All
Just
right.
listening to myself.
Americans have grown so fond of working from home that many are willing to sacrifice pay for the privilege of skipping the office. So found a recent survey by recruiting firm Robert Half, which polled thousands of US employees and hiring managers about their attitudes toward remote work. Some workers say they're willing to take a pay cut with an average reduction of 18% to remain fully remote. Paul McDonald, Robert Half, Senior Executive Director, told CBS News overall, roughly 1 in 3 workers who go into the office at least once a week said they were willing to earn less for the opportunity to work remotely. That's
That
I,
makes total sense.
Yeah.
To me,
I
it
mean,
makes total sense, Amnon. It
totally.
means,
yeah,
uh, actually, think about yourself,
yeah,
right? You're running a business from home for a long time,
yeah,
right? Think about how much it would cost you to take that business,
and move
right?
to an office.
And more, you had that, right?
Yeah,
You had that. That is an enormous cost, and you're not
absolutely,
even taking in the personal cost of commuting time, right? Taking care of another vehicle just because, right?
Gas.
Everybody in the house needs to leave, so you need another car. You need an right.
yeah,
It's an enormous cost. So taking a pay cut that will still make it worth your while, and the fact that you're working from home, you are basically controlling, right, the time when you work a lot more, and you can even do some of I need to step out for a bit for to do some logistics for the home, right? And you can still get back home, work a bit later. Suddenly you're a master of your time. You'll be
I think
there
it's
for all the meetings, you'll do all the work,
Yeah.
you'll meet all the deadlines, but you control your time.
it's worth it just to not have to commute. Especially if people live in a big city and they spend hours on public transportation. Ugh, I'd love to get that time back if I was in a big city.
Yeah. All right. I guess I need to ask for a pay cut.
Don't need to.
Well, you're the
But
boss and the employee, so you get the benefits of both worlds.
Those of you with garages at home,
mhm.
a market leading garage door controller is so riddled with severe security and privacy vulnerabilities that the researcher who discovered them, Sam Sebatan, is advising anyone using one to immediately disconnect it until they are fixed. Each $80 device used to open and close garage doors and control home security alarms and smart power plugs employs the same easy to find universal password to communicate with NEXX servers, NEXX. The controllers also broadcast the unencrypted email address, device ID, first name, and last initial corresponding to each one, along with the message required to open or shut a door or turn on or off a smart plug or schedule such a command for a later time.
Amazing.
The result, anyone with a moderate technical background can search NEXX servers for a given email address, device ID, or name, and then issue commands to the associated controller. NEXX controllers for home security alarms are susceptible to a similar class of vulnerability. Commands allow a door to be open, a device connected to a smart plug to be turned off, or an alarm to be disarmed. Worse still, over the past 3 months, personnel for Texas based NEXX haven't responded to multiple private messages warning of the vulnerability. NEXX has consistently ignored communication attempts from myself, the researchers say, from the Department of Homeland Security and the media. Device owners should immediately unplug all NEXX devices and create support tickets with the company requesting them to remediate the issue. Is estimating that more than 40,000 devices located in residential and commercial properties are impacted, and more than 20,000 individuals have active NEXX accounts. I never heard about any NEXX. Did you guys?
No. Might have encountered it when I was looking for garage openers, smart garage openers.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have encountered them, but no, I've never ended up buying anyone. Wow.
That's
I use the Wise opener. Or I mean use the Wise controller, I should
Yeah.
say.
well.
Very simple. Works good.
If you have a controller and you're not aware what it is or what this, look into it. See if that's what you have. If the controller, I mean, it could be a different name, garage door package, but the controller in it is the NEXX, NEXX.
Well, it doesn't look like these are built into any system.
Oh,
So yeah, these are add-ons that you buy. And yeah, I'm reading through the Sam Sebastian
yeah.
Sabatin from, he's an Amazon employee, by the way. I am looking at his post and the CVEs he posted, and I agree with him. You are, Nick likes to say SOL. You are SOL if you are using this. Like disconnect it immediately and follow updates on this if this is important.
They have a lot of different models, it looks like.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because
Oh, no, I realize the core is the same. But just
yeah.
they've got different iterations of
Wow.
what I like about the Wise controller is that it does not use sensors to detect the position of the garage door. You put a QR code on the inside of the garage door and a camera sees it. So it knows if the garage door is open or closed.
Oh.
And I can see, I have a live shot of the inside of the garage. So I know if it says, I leave the house, oh, I forgot to open the garage door, close the garage door. I can go on my phone and see, it's open because I can see the view. And then I hit close. It has a strobe that flashes 5 times to warn people in the way, and then it closes.
All right. Next, somebody has anything they want to bring up? No. The Russian government has banned more than 10,000 websites for content about the war in Ukraine since Moscow launched the full scale invasion in February 22. The blacklist includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and independent news outlets. Over the past year, Russians living inside the country have turned to censorship circumvention tools such as VPNs to pierce through the information blockade. But as dozens of individual private networks get blocked, leaving users scrambling to maintain their access to free information, local activists and developers are coming up with new solutions. One of them is Amnesia VPN, a free open source VPN client. We even do not advertise and promote it, and new users are still coming by the hundreds every day, says Mazai Ben Ziv. Amnesia VPN's founder. Unlike commercial VPNs that route users through company servers, which can be blocked, Amnesia VPN makes it simple for users to buy and set up their own server. This allows them to choose their own IP address and use protocols that are harder to block. More than half of the commercial VPNs in Russia have been blocked because it's easy enough to block them. They do not block them by protocols, but by IP addresses. Amnesia is an order of magnitude more resilient than a typical commercial VPN. It is similar to Outline, a free and open source tool developed by Jigsaw, a subsidiary of Google. Amnesia was created in 2020 during a hackathon supported by Russian digital rights organization Roskomnadzor. Even then, it was clear that things were moving towards stricter censorship. So it's a cat and mouse all the time over there. But this is interesting because to block VPN networks is real simple. All you have to do is figure out their uh, root IP.
blocks.
I wouldn't call it root IP addresses, but they have a bunch of
IP blocks. Yeah.
yeah, and you just block the range, and that's it. They can't get in.
So uh,
But to
I'm
do it,
looking at the Amnesia VPN,
yeah,
and it looks like a neat client, and if I understand correctly, they're just talking about self-hosting on some VPS,
Yeah, and the
right?
main thing is they do it by protocol, not by IP address.
Right, and that's the thing. It sounds like they're using WireGuard basically. WireGuard is the most updated. It's the latest fad in VPN communications.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, some of our listeners will probably remember OpenVPN, which that used to be the big thing. Now it's WireGuard, and the reason WireGuard is such a big thing is because the protocol is designed not only for efficiency, and it's much more efficient than OpenVPN, it is also designed for stealth, not to be detected as a VPN protocol. That is time limited, I think, right?
Until
Like
somebody
if
figures it.
if a government entity puts enough effort, it'll figure out a way of detecting WireGuard communication, I'm guessing, right? So yes, it's an arm race. So for now, something like this, and it looks like the Amnezia VPN client and hosting server or whatever seems to be like very easy to set up, at least supposedly. Takes care of all of the settings for you and stuff like that. So yes, sounds like yay a win for now, but it also means it's going to be short lived as well as VPN servers, because detection will become smarter, and even this will be blocked eventually. They got a few months ahead, but I don't think it'll last.
Which in many cases means a lot.
Yes, I mean, especially in a war zone.
Yeah. All right. Spence, you took a bunch of stuff over to Durham for recycling.
I did to the
Yeah.
Camden Institute.
But listen to this. For $30, you can ship Best Buy a prepaid box filled with up to 15 pounds of unwanted electronics. That's not much at all. Starting this month, 2 sizes of prepaid boxes are available on the Best Buy website. A 9 by 5 by 3 container that can carry up to 6 pounds for $23, and a large 18. Let's not get too much into this. You have to pay to get it to them.
Plus, you have to figure out a way to fit something that doesn't fit the
Right.
box into the box.
Correct.
Do I take apart the individual components?
No.
Do I use a bandsaw to cut it into 4
Right.
pieces?
And put it, yeah, but then it's not just that, it's also the weight.
Yes.
Complete weight. I mean, there are a lot of people there that take it to the dump and get paid for electronics. You get paid pretty good buck for an electronics. Working
Depending
or
on
not
what it is,
working.
yeah.
They don't care about that.
Yep.
But yeah, you have to make a trip over there.
If you live in Wake County, there are like 5 or 6 different places you can
Right.
drop off electronics to.
Yeah.
And the 2 main places, north and south, are the big recycling centers where they have at the dumps, which are super easy. You'll take the hazardous waste. And then the local ones will take electronics. They typically don't take like pesticides and paint and chemicals. But it's really easy to do. And I go there a lot. I mean, I have a lot of stuff I'm getting rid of. Yeah, too bad.
Yeah, right. I said that before, and I tell all my customers that come here for computer work. I take anything electronic, computer, whatever, electrical, and I put it at the end of the driveway. It's not on the shoulder; it's on our property. And it started some years ago when I put something there just waiting, trying to give it away. It was stuff that was working, Spence, that came from Northern, remember, Nortel?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And some old guy stopped by and said, "Can I take whatever I want?" I said, "Absolutely." And apparently he was taking it, and he had a little pickup, and we were talking, and he said he takes it to the dump and he gets paid, and this is how he makes his money now. Ever since then, I, whenever I have something or a customer has an old monitor, an old anything electronic, said, "Yeah, you can bring it over here." I, if I put it there, within a few days, I see him come and pick up everything, and it's nice because it goes to where it's supposed to go, and it helps somebody. That,
I wonder where he's taking it to, because it's not the county facility. They don't pay.
yeah, there is,
The county facility pays.
or is it the city?
It's
I
got to be the city. It's not the county.
Okay, well, because Hannah took a pickup full of that stuff about 2, 3 years ago, and she got paid over $100.
Yeah, I think it's probably the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and if you live in a house, I mean, in an apartment, you can't do that. If you live in a house and you see some pickups on regular basis, like they have junk in the back, you can stop and ask them if they want some electronic. And for electronics, the junkyard, let's call it, the dump, pays more than just for pieces of metal. So it's a way to do it, but to $30 to get it. I mean, why can't you take it to Best Buy? Why don't they make it so you could just drop it there?
It sounds like a virtue signaling compliance thing. Oh, we do. We recycle.
Oh yeah,
He-
yeah, that's right. Hey,
Yeah.
the recycling by mail program is the latest salvo in Best Buy's campaign to achieve net zero emissions by 2040. Yeah, so
Yep,
this is
there it
part
is.
of, yep, that's right.
Dell, I think Dell still has. I'm not sure. I did look at this. Dell has a program where they'll send you a prepaid box to recycle an old computer.
But do you have to pay for it?
No,
You see, over here
No.
you have to pay. And
but
it's
I
not,
don't know that it's still in place. I
Oh,
can't say
okay.
that they're still doing it.
And talking about Nortel and equipment that you can use and all that, Cisco Systems has left the Russian market, destroying tens of millions of dollars worth of equipment and components in the process. This is due to the fact that the developer of network equipment has no plans to resume operations in the country. That's coming from Engadget. Cisco System announced it would cease sales in the Russian market in March 2022. 3 months later, the company refused to renew its license. In addition, at the same time, the American manufacturer announced its withdrawal from Russia and Belarus.
Again, I suspect a compliance thing where
Really?
they have a bunch of stuff that's obsolete, and now they have a way to write it off, destroy it, and
Oh,
get everybody to say, "Wow."
so don't be impressed by these moves.
Well,
Huh?
it depends. I mean, it depends on who came up with the idea.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, we have to," they regularly get rid of stuff. I mean, it's not unusual. Companies do that when they have something that's obsolete or,
Yeah.
there's no value to it. They trash it. They sell it to a recycler or
Mhm.
whatever. But if they can score points with it, woohoo.
Yeah. Yep. Nick, this is something that you can discuss. With no discussion, the Arkansas House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved the bill that would require social media users in the natural state to verify they're 18-year-old or older to use the platforms. The proposal, backed by Governor Sarah Sanders, is aimed at shielding minors from the harmful effects of social media. Young folks could use the platforms, but only if parents provide consent. Senate Bill 396 would require social media companies, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, to contract with third-party companies to perform age verification. Users would have to provide the third-party company with a digital driver's license. There's also there's also now a law in Arkansas that requires anyone who wants to watch online pornography to verify they're an adult. So, I mean, but this is the main story here is without discussion, they just passed it.
Well, that's not true.
Well, that's
I'm sure whatever source you got that from is not accurate. That's not how legislation
Yeah.
works. Now, there may have not been public debate on it, but you don't draft legislation. Where'd you get it from?
it's probably from Flash
Oh,
Dutch,
probably
but
from the
it's
Verge. Yeah, they're
but
a
it's
bunch of
probably
incompetent
Verge
fools. So,
or something like that.
yeah, it's all these tech blogs are just incompetent
Okay.
morons. But yeah, there was absolutely discussion. Again, you don't draft. You can't. It's physically impossible to draft legislation without discussion. That's part of drafting legislation. But of
Okay.
course, the fearmonger tactics are out in full force. Um, so you said something a third party is
Yeah.
going to be the one responsible for the issuance of the driver's license?
No,
No,
issuing the
validation.
to validate.
So who's
it.
going to be issuing it? The state or the third party?
You have a driver's license, but you cannot go to Twitter and give them your driver's license. You have to go through that third party who would validate it, and then you get some kind of a
My question, that's my question though. Is this a state issued driver's license or is
Yeah.
this is some sort of virtual driver's license? Like,
Right.
because it's obviously it's not, I doubt you're going to go down to the DMV and apply for one at 13 years old.
Okay, here it is. It says provide the third party company with a digital driver's license.
Okay. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess that's going to just be issued through the state. So you'll just go to the state's DMV
Yeah.
online and fill that out. This will have no impact. This is just useless. This is useless legislation.
I
I don't
mean,
bel- it
it
won't-
will impact third-party validation as an industry.
Well, it will, but nothing is going to, for example,
It's not
Twitter
going to
is
stop.
not.
You're saying it's not going to stop kids from being on Twitter.
No,
Well, and the reason is because a state like Twitter is not headquartered in Arkansas.
Right.
I don't believe they operate different servers just for Arkansas. So I'm not sure that any of these companies have an obligation to do this. Now, I guess the state of and the state can't block a website. That's not a thing that they can do on across the whole internet. They can block it on state issued devices, which they should if that's the concern. They did that in North Carolina. TikTok is barred from state devices.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But that's not for kids. In order.
No,
to
but
protect-
my point is the in this case the government is very limited as to what their enforcement mechanism is. They can't.
Okay.
They're not going to come to your house and throw you. They're not going to come to your house and put a firewall rule in on your ISP. Like that's just not going to be a thing. So there doesn't seem to be much in this is more gaslighting than anything else.
All right.
That's how I see it.
Let's see. Last thing that I have here is it's kind of troubling, but hopefully it's no longer a problem. efile.com. Anybody use efile? Do their own taxes? It's an
Yeah, check your camera stuff.
It's an IRS authorized e-file software service provider used by many for filing their tax return, has been caught.
E-file.
E-file. Huh? What'd you say, Gal?
I mean, it's like a TurboTax thing.
Yeah. Well, it's a service that you get from the website.
Yeah, they're an
It-
approved contractor that will
Yeah.
file
Right, they're a
with the,
contractor. It's
'cause
not the
normally-
IRS or something,
yeah,
right?
normally you go through an accountant will do it for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Authorized. This is an authorized, secure way to file your taxes. like
So
you.
it was caught serving malware as spotted by
Ooh.
multiple users and researchers. The malicious JavaScript file in question is called popper.js. The development comes as at a crucial time when U.S. taxpayers are wrapping up their IRS tax returns before the April 18th due date. And Bleeping Computers can confirm that the malicious JavaScript file popper.js was being loaded by almost every page of efile.com.
Well, if
least-
you're infecting a website,
Yeah.
you're at least putting yourself in the header that is common to all the pages.
Yeah. True. At least up until April 1st. And they said as of last week, as of today, last week, the file is no longer seen serving the malicious code. On March 17th, a Reddit thread surfaced where multiple efile.com users suspected the website was hijacked. At the time, the website showed an SSL error message that some suspected was fake and indicative of a hack. Turns out that's indeed the case. The malicious JavaScript file update.js further attempts to prompt user to download next stage payload, depending on whether they are using Chrome, which is update.exe, virus total, or Firefox installer.exe, virus total. Antivirus products have already started flagging these executables as Trojans. Bleeping Computers has independently confirmed these binaries establish a connection to a Tokyo-based IP address, and they give the IP address, that appears to be hosted with Alibaba. The same IP also hosts the illicit domain. Info Man Wunliajag. It's in association with this incident security research group. Malware Hunter team further analyzed these binaries and stated that these contain Windows botnets written in PHP, a fact that the research group mocked. Additionally, the group called out efile.com for leaving the malicious code on its website for weeks. So the website of efile.com got compromised at least around middle of March and still not cleaned. So if you did any business with efile.com, you need to check your computer, make sure it's clean and there's nothing on it. I don't think that they got, nobody mentions here that they got any information from the tax return, but who knows?
Yeah. This year is the first year I filed my taxes through TurboTax.
Yeah.
Just using their site, not using an accountant.
Right.
And I found it very interesting that when I got to the point of paying for the service just before you file, it bundled. It had a bundle of online identity protection. It sounds like they know that they are a target, and if for some reason the information, they're not saying they're protecting you from information leakage on their side, right?
Mhm.
Because that's, they're supposed to protect you automatically, but it's like, uh, since you're doing a lot of these online, since you are so trusting of online services, let's sell you identity protection as well. Sounds like e-file should do that as well,
Yeah,
knowing
they
that
should
they are
actually
exposing
give it
you.
to you.
Yeah, at this point, that's probably what will happen, right? That's what Equifax did
Yep.
for the fourth time that they were hacked. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
There was a little kerfuffle recently because the IRS is planning to offer basically tax consulting services. And so a lot of the preparers are upset now because of like H&R Block and all that, because the IRS is going to streamline it, make it easy for you to just go to the IRS and just file your taxes directly with
Yeah.
questionnaires. So just like going through
which
TurboTax, you can go to the IRS. That's
that
their
would be
plan.
awesome.
It would be good if it's, I mean, if it's a good service, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's more to what, who knows what it's going to turn out to be. They've stated in their plan what it's going to do. And those things alarm the industry enough to say that you're going to put all these people out of work.
Yeah. Well, we do need to remember, right, every time we talk about the IRS, that the IRS, while it is for the government, right, it is a private, sort of a private entity working for the government.
That's right. It's
So
chartered. I forget where it's chartered. It's not even chartered in the United States.
yeah, it's
Something
something
like
like, right, it's this bizarre beast, but it's a commercial entity.
There were,
So
to create a national income tax was theoretically at the time illegal. So they had to go through gyrations to try to make it work. So,
yeah.
I think it was in the 1920s. Wasn't it, Nick, 1920s or something like that when they started the IRS?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But like anything else,
creation
that the
of the
government,
National Federal Reserve Bank and all that stuff was very sketchy.
like anything else that the federal government does, like how much did they spend on the HSA the Obamacare website? Like $3 million or something.
Yeah.
I don't have the IRS still has a large section of their catalog of taxes from the 70s on tape. So I don't have much confidence that their system is going to be highly used.
But they're throwing tons of money at it. $80 billion.
God, yeah.
$80 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. No.
Now, okay. It's that time of day, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners and some of you guys have things to do this Easter.
Yeah, they need to go find some Easter eggs and get some chocolate from the bunny.
Just go out front. They'll be out on your grass waiting.
Just be careful. It might be nuggets of not chocolate.
Mm.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to bring up?
Ah,
Okay. All right. Well, again, happy Easter, happy Passover, everybody, and happy Ramadan. Thanks, Katie and Gal, Nick, Spence. Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. Also, don't forget to change your passwords if you're using same password across multiple sites. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. And remember, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM in Wilmington. You can tell your Echo device to play 980 The Wave and listen to him live. Or you could go to the recordings of the shows at nickcraig.com. These are morning, drive time, news, and politics show commentary. Tuesdays, 7 p.m., Nick and Brian do the Infection podcast on Twitch. Survival games, gaming news, and political commentary again. So Tuesday, 7 p.m., it's twitch.tv/Infection Podcast. Have a great day, everybody. We'll be with you again next Sunday. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.